Hello. Um, yes. Hello. I don't exactly know what I want to do with the video today because I do have every time I have a lot of things I want to talk about, but it's difficult when you actually turn on the camera and talk. I'm at a different hotel today. I didn't plan this trip, I just went along, and I think I like giving up control a bit because usually when I'm traveling, I travel alone. So it's me who takes care of all the logistics. And that gets tiring sometimes. I do like just going along with it. That's besides the point. Um, Actually, that's not besides the point because I don't know what the point is. Um, how about we talk about BTS? Because that's a thing. Uh, I was I was twittering because of course I have been into Twitter lately. Not lately, like a year or so. Before that, I just use it mostly to post my drawings, but I haven't been drawing. Ha! Ugh. Let's not get into that. So I realize sometimes that I am very much into fangirl culture. And there used to be a point, there is still, again, like I talked about it in my last video, but there is a bit of shame in that I feel sometimes when I fangirl over the things that I'm fangirling about. Um, Usually it didn't bother well, it did bother me too much. Like when I got into high school, I didn't want to give people my personal Facebook account and my personal social media account because I use my accounts to fangirl basically. Like I share stuff, I scream about haiku mostly, and all the other things. I like BL. I like things that are a bit unconventional too. Like it would be weird if you're not a part of fan culture. That's such a vague term, I know. Um, to see, I think it would weird some people out. And I thought that there was something that I should reel back a bit, and that was what I did too. In when I started being more comfortable with the fact that people won't just unlike me because I scream about what volleyball boys. um, so that's good, I think. And then I became more comfortable with sharing my social media and using my social media, still using it to fangirl. It was weird. I think I don't think my I usually call them my Muggle friends, but they have their fandoms. They like stuff too. I'm sure they understand fan culture, not in the sense that I do, but not in the same way that I experience fan culture. Like, but I became more comfortable, and they also proved to me. My friends proved to me that I could be, I could like whatever I want. It doesn't matter. Not that it doesn't matter, but they won't love me any less for it, or they would just unfriend me because they think I'm weird or whatever. But that's also something I tried really hard to prove. I don't know why, but to prove the fact that I can be a high achieving student and I could be social and open and still, be a fangirl. Like those are mutually exclusive things or something. But there is this stereotype of the nerd that is asocial and nervous and um, ashamed of what they like or is made fun of. But and there is, and I've seen people getting I can't pronounce that word, shamed for what they like. And you know, sometimes I am shamed for what I like, but I think it's also important for me to show in a weird, in a less serious, less personal version of coming out, um, that I am also a weeb, a nerd. I like K-pop, and that doesn't make me any less of a person, and that doesn't undermine my achievements in any sorts. That I could be both of those things. That people are complex and they like a lot of different things. It doesn't. I'm not too good for anything, and I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for anything. I think that sometimes because there have been people who told me, I thought you were better than this. I thought you were, I was better than just liking BL and I don't know. Usually it's K-pop because people around me have the um, in Vietnamese culture, or at least, or I guess in pop culture, like K-pop or fangirl culture, teenage fangirl culture is very much looked down upon, and I think that stems. It's not really the content fault. Like, you see grown ass men crying and screaming over soccer and sports, and boys being loud about video games and their own hobbies. But when it's seen as a teenage girl thing, it's automatically somehow problematic or less. Like, take a look at, I don't know, Twilight, One Direction, and now BTS. It's they're not bad things, you know? Like, Twilight, it's not that bad of a book or a movie. Like, it's not great, but it's not terrible, you know? It's not as bad as people make it out to be. So, One Direction makes good music. I like their music. And I could gush about BTS all day, you know? But since people are. Not people, I say it like everyone thinks that, of course, there is complexity in opinions, and people don't just think one thing or another. But that's, again, not a conversation we can get into in a short video. But I think the thing of looking down upon teenage fangirl culture is pretty misogynist and problematic. But it's also internalized misogyny, right? Because I thought that at one point in my life, when I was really young, like, well, not that I'm not young now, but like middle school, beginning of middle school, young, I had another like other girl's face, which is super problematic, and I've learned to. I do not know how to English today. To not get rid, but to talk myself out of it. That just because this is something that girls, the majority of the people who like these things are girls, doesn't mean that makes it any less valuable, or that makes it automatically bad or problematic or childish. Again, it's internalized misogyny, and it took me a long while, and it still gets me sometimes, of this thought that I like anime, I like BL, I like BTS, I like Winner. Like, I like screaming about my 2D anime boys, and that's a bad thing, or that makes me less of a person, or that if I want to have a good reputation, I have to hide those things. I don't want to hide them, but I did unconsciously sometimes, and that doesn't make me feel very good. It's like I have to hide this part of myself that is so important to me. Like, fan culture is very important to me. Being able to love someone, something so deeply, so complexly, even to love something or someone on very superficially. Like, some stuff I like are very my emotions about some things are very deep and complex, like BTS, like Winner, like Haikyuu, other stuff, but some are pretty superficial, you know, like some anime I only watch or read it because there's a hot guy or girl in it, and that's fine, man. Sometimes it's okay to like something unabashedly, to like something enthusiastically. And I think that's what I like about being a nerd. And what I embrace about that title is that I'm not too cool for anything. It's okay for me to like things, to be open about liking those things, and I don't want to give in to this idea that because I'm high achieve, well, I say that like I'm top of my school or anything. No, I'm average-ish, but I do have a lot of activities I'm involved in. That I lost my train of thought. That because I have high marks or because I'm head of this, head of that, that somehow that I do not know where I'm going with this. Again, it comes down to it's not something I have to feel ashamed about. I think it's still a journey. It's still a process I'm trying to make peace with. But I just want to say that I like something without being afraid that people will judge me for it or look down upon me for it. That's why I still don't say I like anime or I like K-pop, or I still choose my less nerdy, I hate that, my less obvious, apparels and bags when I go out casually so that people don't judge me. I do not like that I give in to the social pressure, but I do. And sometimes it's good to acknowledge that I do so I can evaluate why I give in to those pressure. This video doesn't have a coherent point, I think, but I did manage to talk for 12 minutes. So there's that.